On July 13, 2011, first responders were called to the historic Spreckels Mansion in Coronado, California. There, they found the body of 32-year-old Rebecca Zahau. She was hanging from a second-floor balcony, completely nude. Her ankles were bound together, and her hands were tied behind her back. Inside the room leading to that balcony, a message had been painted across the door. "She saved him. Can he save her?" The constraints and the cryptic message led the media and the public to a singular conclusion. This was a calculated, ritualistic murder. However, in September 2011, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department held a public press conference to officially finalize their investigation. Investigators announced that the death was a suicide and explicitly ruled out foul play. This ruling presented a physical mystery: how a woman could bind her own ankles, tie her own hands behind her back, and hang herself from a balcony without any outside assistance. To understand the context of that morning, we have to look back 48 hours. On July 11th, 6-year-old Max Shacknai fell over a second-floor banister while Rebecca was the only adult present. Max was hospitalized in critical condition with severe brain damage, creating an atmosphere of intense grief and tension within the mansion. The child's father, Jonah Shacknai, and his ex-wife Dina had a history of domestic altercations documented in prior police reports. With Max's death appearing imminent, the emotional state inside the house shifted toward blame, providing a set of circumstances that the family would later argue pointed toward a motive for revenge. To see how investigators arrived at their conclusion, we have to examine the specific observations documented in the official medical examiner's files. This report details exactly how she was found, suspended with her ankles and hands bound behind her back. But further down, the report notes her neck injuries were consistent with a drop rather than a slow strangulation. The examiner also found the soles of her feet were dirty, matching conditions on the balcony where she had allegedly stood. There were no signs of a struggle or sexual assault, and toxicology showed no evidence that she had been drugged or rendered unconscious. Addressing the bindings, police produced a reenactment video showing how a person can wrap a rope around their own hands, slip one out, and reinsert it after placing their arms behind their back. Based on the lack of secondary DNA and the physical evidence of the fall, the medical examiner officially certified the death as a suicide. The Zahau family rejected this finding and hired independent forensic experts to challenge the state's case. Independent pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht testified that fractures in her throat indicated manual strangulation, which would mean the hanging was staged after a murder. They also noted the absence of any secondary DNA at the scene and argued that the painted message on the door did not match Rebecca's handwriting. Their investigation focused on the only other person confirmed to be at the estate that night: Jonah's brother, Adam Shacknai. The physical evidence creates a paradox. The facts can be used to support both a series of acrobatic maneuvers and a murder that left no forensic trace of an assailant. In April 2018, the dispute reached a courtroom as the Zahau family filed a wrongful death civil lawsuit against Adam Shacknai. Unlike a criminal trial, which requires proof beyond a reasonable doubt, a civil trial operates on a preponderance of evidence, meaning a jury only needs to find that one side is more likely than the other. After hearing the evidence, the civil jury found Adam Shacknai responsible for Rebecca's death and awarded the family $5.2 million. However, the state's ruling did not change. The chief medical examiner re-reviewed the evidence later that year and refused to alter the official suicide finding. The legal battle eventually ended in a settlement in 2019, which vacated the original multi-million-dollar judgment and dismissed the case. The case of Rebecca Zahau remains a dual reality, one where a jury found proof of murder and another where the state maintains the proof of suicide, leaving the truth behind the Spreckels mansion permanently divided.